Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host today, coming to you to talk to you about what's going on in Congress, and also I wanted to mention about what happened with Tim Norman and the murder of his nephew, Andre Montgomery. First of all, I want to touch on the unemployment situation. It's just so much going on at the White House. People just don't know who to vote for. I mean, they're fighting. They're not paying people unemployment. They're having to go through FEMA. Some people will get it. The people that make less than $100 will not get it. And I think those are the main people that need it, don't you think? I mean, evidently, if they're working and they're only making $100 a week, they deserve unemployment also because that $100 a week means possibly that was all the jobs they could find to get that $100 a week, which would have brought them in $400 a month to tie ends, maybe to help pay their mortgage or their car note or their car insurance. So I feel like it's just a crock of mess. I think they should do everything across the board, and also they need to pay people the stimulus checks because people do need their stimulus money. There are many hungry people. I saw in Houston where it was a lady and she had four children living in a hot car. Do you realize how hot it is in Houston, Texas? I mean, it's over 100 degrees. And to have four babies in a hot vehicle because she don't have her unemployment extension to pay a bill, she could not afford to continue to pay her rent. That is horrific. Pay the people the money and stop pussyfooting around, as my parents would say. Go ahead and pay the money. So I hope that Nancy Pelosi will go ahead and agree with them, do the skinny bill, take out what she wants. I'm quite sure they will. Right now, they said that they would extend the $600 benefits if she would go ahead and sign for the deal. However, there are some things in that bill that she's not happy about, which means I feel that she should go back to the table and not just block it out completely. And also other Democrats that's on board with her, they feel the same way, and they reached out to her to do the stimulus package and arrange to work with this other stuff later. But at least the people out here, because come election time, everybody that didn't do that what they were supposed to do, they won't be in office. And maybe they don't want to be because they already have enough money. So to them, to hell with it. A lot of people already have their life they think secured, but what people don't know is just like how this virus hits. You can have all the money in the world and something can happen and change all of that. So do the right thing, give the people the money, let everybody be happy, let everybody move along, and it will be a better place to live in, a better world. Our economy will pick up, people will be happy, people will have jobs, they will start looking for their jobs because they know this can't last forever. No matter how much money the government gives people that are unemployed, that too shall end. So it's not like it's going to be a lifetime thing. So why not go ahead and just give the people the money and let economy pick up so that people can go ahead and set up their businesses to hire people so that when the funds do run out, at least people, everything will be rolling. The economy will be back going. So many businesses, I see when I drive around are just closed. They're gone. No more places. I mean, restaurants are closing, bars are closing, stores are closing, businesses are shutting down because right now people don't even have money to go to the ones that are open. You see, there may be a few places that are thriving, but we can't make it in this world on just a few places. Every business needs to thrive in order to keep the economy level. Okay, so much for that. Please pass the stimulus bill so that people can have places to stay, food to eat, and move along into the economy, move the money around. And I think that would be great. And I hope that this weekend they will do that. I hope that Nancy Pelosi will take up on some of her friends or people that would tell her, go ahead and let's do this. Because like I said, come November, He can kiss the baby goodbye. I was looking at one YouTube channel, and this guy said, just put your name down. He said, because any one of us can be the president of the United States at this time. The way they're running this country, the way they don't give a damn about the people, nobody gives a care about anybody but themselves. So anybody can run at this point. Anybody with no background, no training, no political background, no nothing, no high school graduation, no college education. Anyone can run for president because even an uneducated person with common sense can run it better than they're doing right now. And he was right about it. Okay, now, so much for that. Wow. This topic here, you guys. Mm-mm-mm. Tim Norman, the son of Robbie Montgomery, who started Sweetie Pie's restaurant. I think she started in St. Louis, Missouri. Her son, her baby son, and she only had two sons, I understand. And one of them was killed to violence early on. I think it was 1995 or something like that, to street violence. And then here comes the grandson. He came up dead about 4 years ago. Robbie Montgomery really, really did all she could to help her kids, her family. You know, the weight was on her shoulders. So Oprah gave her the opportunity not only to help her, and she was not selfish, she brought in her entire family, you guys. I mean, and I know people that work with that lady, and I've seen videos of people that have worked with Miss Robbie, and they said she was such a beautiful person. And I really believe that. And you know why? Because for someone to have worked with you and you are their boss and they can say good things about you, that means you are a hell of a person. To deal with all of what she's dealing with, to run a restaurant is very, very difficult. You got so many people with so many different tastes. I don't want my eggs like this, my grits like that. I don't want my bacon fried hard. I want it soft. You know, just all kinds of stuff. My drink don't taste right. You put too much ice in here. You put too much butter. You put too much sugar. I mean, you got to deal with all this stuff. And not only did she have one, but she had several restaurants, and including here in Houston, where Tim Norman had brought the business to Houston. And you know what? I wanted to go to the restaurant, but somehow I just couldn't find the locations. I mean, someone came to visit me, and I wanted to take them to Sweetie Pies. Oh my God! I went looking for it, and it was on like Richmond Avenue. And when I went looking for it, it was closed. It was closed, and it was due to a flood. But somehow I was feeling some kind of vibes, like it's something more to it. This stuff is not right. It was not right. It just didn't seem like it had Sweetie Pie vibes on it. And really, I don't think it did. I think Tim was the one that brought them to Houston because he was kind of debating where he wanted to take them even on the show. One thing I do want to stop and say is I want to thank Oprah Winfrey for allowing Miss Robbie Montgomery the opportunity, no matter if Tim did smear her business worldwide, for people to see. Oprah gave Robbie Montgomery the opportunity to help her family, and she did just that. So it shouldn't be anything smeared on Oprah nor on Miss Robbie Montgomery. It was only her son. And I know she hates to hear this, that people are talking about her son, but because of all the things he did to not only her, but even on the show to his nephew before he allegedly set him up to have him killed. And my thing, it was very, very difficult for me to see this particular show where Miss Robbie wanted to go to the location where Andre was murdered, and to see how Tim stood there cold-heartedly with his mom. But deep down inside, you guys, I think Miss Robbie really, really, really felt something in her spirit that it could have been him because of the way he had did her, but because that's your son. I had a brother that was somewhat similar to Tim, not as bad, but he was incarcerated. But it wasn't for robbery or anything. It was something like drugs or something, being on drugs. It wasn't anything like robbery or anything like that. Nothing really horrific. But my mother still loved him. And we used to say, Mother, why do you keep running up there to the prison to see him? Because he keeps doing this stuff to hurt you. And we felt bad because we felt like, how could you keep hurting your mother like that? You know how much she loves you, and you keep going to prison and hurting your mother. How could you do that? So we just couldn't understand that love of a mother and her son. And my mother would say, that's my child, and nobody in hell can stop me from loving him. I'm going to see him no matter what he did. I don't uphold for the wrong, she would say, but if he is in prison, I will go and see my son. I love him just like I do you or any of you that are not in prison. And I guess all mothers feel that way, and that was why I heard Miss Robbie Montgomery went to see Tim Norman in prison, because that is her son. However, the pain that she has to endure with knowing that he killed her loved one, who was her grandson, that in fact she didn't even want him in St. Louis. Period. She sent him back to Texas. And you know what? Oftentimes, when your grandmother or your mother tell you something, pretty much they be on target, because Robbie actually sent him back. So she probably told him, I want you to go back to Texas. I've already helped you now. You go there and you start your life. Not running back to Missouri because too much wrong is happening here. Because every time a mother tells you that, they can smell a rat. And when that kid is disobedient and they go against what they was told, I have a brother right now that has passed on. He's deceased, that my mother told him to do a certain thing. And he was hard-headed. And then he went back and an accident happened. You see what I'm saying? Because he didn't obey her. Because that young man went back. I understand he went back to see her or to be, to visit the restaurant or whatever it was. But my God, how could anyone kill a child? That boy wasn't even 21 years old. And all along, you guys, all along, Miss Robbie felt that it was a setup. She even said it on one of her shows. She is so in tune, even though if she felt it was her son, she still really didn't know. And that's a horrible position to be in. Like, you could feel something, but you really can't say because you really don't know, but you feel it because of the fact of how he did her. She had to sue him. He was trying to even take from her. Like I said, my mother knew that we had one kid that was not doing how he was raised to be, but she still loved him. She loved him, and she wanted the best for not only Tim, but all of the rest of her family. And my prayers go out to Miss Robbie Montgomery, all of the family, all of the friends. I know people that know her, people that have worked with her. And I wish everyone, because if I feel that pain, and I never did get to meet him, Tim, but I was almost going to meet him, because in fact I was going to try and work with them backstage somehow. And a friend of mine, actually, she went and she called me and she said, oh, I went to the new location, because after the one closed that I missed, then they opened another one in Houston on Fulton Street. Somehow that one didn't last that he was running. And my girlfriend went and she told me, she says, oh, I met him and he was so nice. I took a picture with him. So I spoke with her the other day, and guess what she said? I don't want nobody to know I took a picture with him. Nobody. Because if he fooled his mother like that, he was fooling the world. He was fooling everybody. Everybody that loved him. Everybody that really felt that he was really, really cleaning up and doing the right thing, even though they know how he tried to swindle his mother by opening up all these businesses without her knowing. And there was a show that I saw where um, someone, I don't know if it was their bookkeeper, she was like, I wrote him a check. And the mother was like, you did when? And what do you want the check for? So somehow she had wrote him a check. And Ms. Robbie didn't even know that he had asked the lady for a check. And she was like, I got to talk to him to find out, what's going on with this check. So he was doing a lot of things that was not right because he felt like he could over his mother being the youngest child. He felt like, how he felt like, I'm a man, I'm just going to take over and run this. My mother don't know. She knew everything. Miss Robbie was on top of her game and still is. And I just wish that she could possibly let somebody else take over those businesses. She's worked so hard to have to endure something so horrific as this, as to know her son set up and had insurance policies out. And frankly, I would be afraid could happen to me, because I understood today. I saw someone else that was linked to them said somehow that he had taken out $1 million policy on her. I mean, what people would do for money, for the love of money, you guys, is a rule of all evil. And I couldn't say that I didn't believe it, that he did that. And the reason I couldn't say it because of all the things that he did that the world knew about. So far as, opening up all these businesses against his mother's will in her name, taking these checks and she's not knowing about it, hitting Andre and these kids, like really being mean to them for no reason, just all kinds of various things, including when he was 17, he probably didn't listen to his mother because he probably was spoiled. But my thing is to kill your brother's child. Was it because he was jealous? But Miss Robbie Montgomery, she showed love to everyone. It wasn't just that she showed love to Andre. She was just trying to help Andre get ahead and get on the right track because, after all, that was her oldest son's child. That was her direct blood. And as I heard her say, or someone say, he was the last Montgomery, which means Tim set him up to have him kill the last Montgomery with a male name that could have continued to spread. That could have been hereditary. It could have spread it. He could have later had a child or son, and that Montgomery name could have kept living on. And Tim arranged to have him killed for money that he did not get. Oh my God, that is so horrific. I was eating breakfast this morning and it was some ladies just sitting in the restaurant talking about how they felt so sorry for Miss Robbie Montgomery because everyone all over are talking about this stuff. It's so horrific because nobody just cannot believe, and to see him standing by his mother. And when he went to that scene, he was just so cordial with her there and pointing out my daddy was killed here, my this, that, and the other. How could you be so cold to hurt your mom like that? And everybody's like, Miss Robbie, and even me, Miss Robbie, all of the people that I know that know him, I'm sorry to make this video, but people can fool you. People you love. You can even be sleeping with the enemy and not even know it. And this is when I was growing up as a child, this was when my mom told me, she says, guess what, baby? And I said, what, Mother? Everything she told me, it just comes to the light. She says, you don't know nobody, no one. You know no one but God. You know no one. She says, because people can change, the devil can just flip in their minds just like that. And that's why you have to pray. And unless a person is born with a good heart from the core, see, you got to have goodness from the core and pray that you keep it throughout a lifetime. You know, because you could have met someone that was really, really nice, like how he faked it all with everybody, except for his mother. She know him. She know her son. And once he did that to her, you know she knew him. Like, wait a minute, wait a minute. She says, you're not in prison. Don't be acting like you're still in prison because you're not. You out here now. Act accordingly, you know? So I'm just so sad to hear this. And then yesterday to hear about this insurance agent guy who was Nelly's producer for Nellyville or whatever that Nelly, he produced something for Nelly. Now, as big time as he is, to even actually still be an agent, you know, insurance agent, I mean, if he made it big with Nelly, he should be doing something else like just producing or something, running around grabbing a bunch of little policies and putting together policies, illegal policies. Now on him, I don't know how it's going to fly because he could probably easily get out of it and say, this is what he told me. But you can tell somebody anything, but did he show you the proof? First of all, why would you let somebody get an insurance policy on a 18 or 19-year-old kid that should be in great health unless they had a health crisis or something you knew about on record? That's a no-no. And unless that child signed, how could you let anybody get that big of an insurance policy on you unless you sign? And I wonder if, I heard today about the $1 million policy allegedly on Miss Robbie. I wonder if she knew about that policy. Because I thought that the other person, I'm not sure, you know, that how it goes, but I thought that the other person had to sign or you have to notify them that you are putting a policy out on them. You know, you got to really watch people. I'm telling you. You have to really, really watch people. You know, I've heard of people like younger women marrying older guys for money, and guess who dies first? That person that did it, not the person that they thought would die before them. So you could do all this madness for all of them to do all this, and that girl to drive all the way from Mississippi to allegedly have him killed or shoot him herself. Now this hasn't come out, so nobody really knows who actually shot him. They know that she drove up there, and they know that the phones, those little throwaway phones, were in the area, but they have not said who actually killed Andre Montgomery. So the insurance guy, he's going to try to get out of it. He's going to say, well, I only did what he told me to do. But they're going to say, well, why didn't you look at the paperwork? Did you see? Because if, in fact, Tim Montgomery had everything that he needed to get that insurance policy, he would have been able to redeem it and get the money from it. But because it was illegal in the beginning, which is why he didn't get a dime in the end, he had his innocent little nephew killed and did not get a dime. How horrific is that? How could he live with himself and look at his mom and look at his family? How? That has to be someone that has a problem. That has to be a sociopath, narcissist, or a person just cold-hearted. And another thing, I was watching YouTube. It was someone else that was on YouTube talking about it. And they said, I saw them on, I heard them on Tasha K's, which is a big famous YouTuber on YouTube. And she said that it was just something about him, you know. And it was another lady said something too, that something to the sort that it was something about him when she worked, the vibes wasn't right. And she even said, Ms. Robbie, I'm sorry to say that, but she said he had some vibes that she felt kind of eerie. But a lot of times when guys are incarcerated, and I think he was in there 10 years, you can pick up those eerie vibes from them. And the reason why, because they've been around so many eerie people in prison, and association brings about simulation, so that stuff rubs off on you. Also, it can make you think like those people. Because if you're in a cell with somebody for 10 years every day and they're bad and they're just pumping bad in your head every day, every day, all day, because all they do is sit around and talk, and that stuff gets into your subconscious mind. And those people have time to think about anything that they can do to get ahead when they're getting nowhere. Another thing that bothered me was that when they went to get the insurance policy the first time they got it, then they went back again for more money and went back a third time for more money with the insurance, wanting the insurance policy to double, an accident, this, that, and the other. Anytime somebody goes 3 times to keep changing the insurance and adding on and this and that, that should be a red flag right there. So this is why they probably pinpointed this guy, Yahim or whatever his name, Yahim, it starts with a Y, I can't even pronounce his name. This is why they locked him up, because they feel like he came here 3 times to you, possibly, allegedly, and each time there was not a red flag up, there was not a no, it went through each time. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a bad situation, you guys. It's a bad situation. I wonder how Oprah feels, because, Oprah had contact with that boy. And that boy was probably in her face smiling, and I wonder if Oprah felt anything about him. I wonder if there's going to be talk about how Oprah felt about the situation. I noticed the show has been canceled, I think, since 2018, like 2 years ago. But I wonder how she feels about it. And I wonder if Ms. Robbie is going to come out and talk about how she felt, or did she have any feelings about. But one thing Ms. Robbie said, remember, I think I said that earlier in this show, is that it was a setup, somebody set up to have my grandson killed. She said, because he walked out to talk on the phone and somebody knew. Somebody. When she said that, something went all over me. I said to myself, I bet you Ms. Robbie do feel that her son could have possibly had something to do with it, because of the fact of how Andre and the other young man, how they said he had been abusing them on the show. And he was saying he trying to make a man out of them. So to see these shows and to see that he was cold-hearted and had already had his own nephew killed in cold blood, execution style at that, in the head. He was shot in the head, you guys. And this little hoochie mama from Mississippi had the nerve to lure him. I mean, what was going through her mind? And she had a child, I understand. Now her child is going to be without a child, because they're going to throw away the key on this situation. And anytime that insurance policy never got cashed, the feds knew that it was something from the beginning. It took 4 years. I don't know if they put down that case, sit it down, and then picked it back up or what, but it took 4 years. I wonder, why did it take so long? Because if no one collected money on the policy, that's a red flag right there. Anytime you have a $450,000 policy and nobody collected on it, or no one could collect on it, you know that there's a problem somewhere. And it took them this long? I mean, did they put it down? You see, I mean, if it had been any other race, they would have jumped dead on that. But a lot of our African American people are killed, and nobody really cares. But Miss Robbie did said, I can't wait till they find the murderer. And I have a Caucasian friend, and when I was telling about the situation, because I don't think she really, ever watched the Sweetie Pie show, and I told her how I was sad because of how Miss Robbie has to go through this, that her son set up to kill his own nephew, and how he was there for her and all of this and that, and she looking at his mom every day and faking. And she was saying, oh, and they say Black Lives Matter. I was like, hold them up, girl, hold them up, hold them up. I said, all lives matter. But when black people say Black Lives Matter, we're not talking about the blacks that kill each other. We're talking about the police officers and the white people that kill people because they're black. So whatever our situation is, it's over here. But what I'm talking about is that people like you that are Caucasian as well have African American children, and their kids have had problems with the cops as well. And that was why, like I told her, if she's watching this show, I'm just being honest. Like I told her, unless you was black, you would not even understand it, because you're white, you're blonde, you're pretty, you're beautiful, you can go anywhere and get a job. But unless you was black, in the black person's shoes, you wouldn't even know. And a lot of times they do know, but they just have gotten used to it. And so I told her, and hopefully she understood, because I think she changed her tune. I'm like, yes, Black lives matter as well. Not saying that all lives. We already know all lives matter. That's why God made people. All lives matter. When he made man, like she did say, when he made man, he made all of us because he loved us. And it didn't matter what color we were. So who in the hell are we to try to act like because somebody's darker than the next person that we're better? And that can be in a black race too. Anybody that thinks that they're better than the next person because of their skin tone. It doesn't matter if they're black or white, light or brown. You have people that will do that in your own race, thinking that because the color of their skin, or because their skin is like this, a little, and then someone else's skin may be dark, like what's in my shirt, the black. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because God loves us all. And that is why I can't believe that Tim Norman would set up to have his nephew killed and put his mother under horrific pain like that. Because Miss Robbie is a senior citizen, and I hope she's able to pull through this, let someone else run those businesses, get herself together, get her some rest, because I wouldn't want her to get sick behind this stuff. Let it go. And I wouldn't put a dime on him. I'm sorry, that's her son, but I wouldn't put no money on him, because he's gone. And why should you waste your money? I understand he has a public defender anyway, but why should you waste your money if your son killed your nephew and had about $1 million policy on you? It's a blessing that it didn't happen to his own mother, because you never know what people do nowadays. You never know. Because remember, he was gone for 10 years, so that was 10 years that Miss Robbie wasn't even with him. That was 10 years. She made him be a star. And even on the mug shot, Tim acted like he was posing with Oprah on the red carpet. I mean, I smile all the time too, but on a mug shot, like I'm still in Hollywood, like he was like, oh my God, Jesus. That just really irks me. It just really made me sick. So my prayers go out to the family. I hate that all of these people, including me, have to talk about it, but I had to talk about it to get it off my chest, because everywhere I go, people are bringing it up to me. And like I said, I know people that know him personally, and they really did love him. And they probably still do love him. And they probably still can't believe that he would do something like that. Or maybe they know that he would, but they just went along with the program because, they were all working together. It's a business, everybody making money. It's just a thing. And Oh, I meant to mention some of the other stuff he did. Remember, he was dating that girl, and she had to call the cops on him, and he's just bad. He's bad. And in a lot of families, everybody have one of those people in their family. One of those people. But I don't know too many people, especially African Americans, that would set up and have their own blood killed. Not many. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. And how could that insurance agent let that happen? Because the reason he'll probably get, they said 20 years to life, is because, look, how could you let that happen? Because that young man probably would be living today if Tim didn't have that insurance policy on him. And every day that Tim tried to get that money and couldn't, he had to still live and think about, I did that and killed my nephew and I still don't have the money. And $450,000 is not a lot of money. I mean, that's not enough money for all the bills I heard he had. That's not enough money. But maybe he was going to do it to several people. Who knows? I mean, allegedly, I heard that he had it out on Miss Robbie $1 million, and don't nobody know what would happen with that. You know, but see, he didn't do it. He set it up to. Set it up. And that girl, that dancer, I mean, where did he link up with her at, you guys? Where did he meet her? So the thing of it is, the next stuff that's going to be coming out is when she drove up from Mississippi, who was with her? Did she pull the trigger, or did someone else pull the trigger that drove her up to Mississippi? I mean, drove her up from Mississippi to St. Louis, Missouri. So it's more people involved in this situation, and it's going to be more to come. So far, I think they named the three: him, that girl, I don't know, her name was Terica or whatever her name was, Ellis or whatever, and that guy, Tim, his agent, and that Ellis girl. They have those three, and it's not over. Because if anybody drove her up there, they're involved too. And anytime you cross federal lines, they had to really, really plan that. That wasn't enough money by the time all of those people would have got paid. That wasn't enough money to kill your blood or nobody else. Oh my God, Jesus. That was chump change to send everybody to jail for something that was so small. And to kill a baby. A baby. That boy was a young man. He was only, 18 or 19 years old? And that was another red flag. If anybody, I was an agent, anybody came to me to put out $450,000 on a child, what's your problem? I would ask them, what's your problem? Get out of here and don't come back. For the love of money, you guys, is the rule of all evil. So evidently Tim must have had a good game to talk to that agent for that agent to. And then to tell you amateurs, they're going to go and put the money in the account, different accounts the next day or so. Bad business. Bad business. And to talk on the cell phone and buy them one day and use them only for one day and thinking that the government not going to get a hold of your butt. Stupid. Stupid. And that girl, she haven't been in prison, so she should have told Tim, you've been in prison 10 years, you don't know how this goes. They going to still link you to the phones. First of all, she should have said, I'm not going to do that for no money. Kill your nephew? Your nephew? She's a low down, ooh, Lord, I don't know what that is. I wonder what her mother say. Ooh, Lord, that is, I just can't get over it, you guys. So I'm just going to have to end this show because it really makes me angry. And my prayers go out to you, Miss Robbie. I mean, I'm not trying to bash your son, but it is what it is. And you didn't ask to come. I mean, the blood that he had could be coming from the father. People can't blame Miss Robbie for anything because, people, my mother used to say, you can have kids all you want, baby. She said, but your kids come through you, but not to you. They're children of the universe. And in her case, that's what he was. Because Miss Robbie didn't approve of no bull crap. You can tell from her show. The lady was strictly business, good woman. And if I was her, I wouldn't feel bad about it situation because she had nothing to do with, like I say, blood. She didn't make Tim by herself. And what that streak that was in him could have came from another side, not her side. Nobody knows where it came, or it could have been just came from prison. But Miss Robbie shouldn't feel like, bad about her. People can't look at Miss Robbie in a bad way at all. So she should not feel bad. And that's just a situation that he smeared in her face during her happy days, her later days. These are the days that Miss Robbie should be enjoying her wealth because of her age and her success and all of the hard work that she has done to make everyone a success, including him. And he failed on his own. It wasn't because of her. I'm going to end my show with that. And again, I pray for all the friends, the people that I know, if you're watching my show, that knows him. I love you. I pray for you. And I know you're in just as much shock as I am and everyone else that I talk to. So my prayers go out to all of you, and especially Miss Robbie Montgomery and Oprah Winfrey and all the people and all of the friends that I know, like I say, that really liked him. But before I leave, I'm going to say this. I heard that in those restaurants, the food, it was just thrown together in Houston. And that's not like Miss Robbie. That's why I know she didn't have nothing to do with that restaurant. And had too much sugar in the greens and stuff. This is personal people I've talked to that have been to both of the locations. And then they said that that the food was too expensive, and that a two-piece chicken dinner was $20, and then you don't get refills on drinks. You don't get refills on drinks. They said he was very, 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 very greedy. And the chef, I understand, she's someone that I met, and I know she's a great cook. So when people would tell me the food wasn't good, I said, well, you didn't go on the day that she was there. I said, because she could cook. Yep, she can cook. So my prayers go out to her as well, because sad. And I was going, like I say, to meet them, and but she was going to introduce me to them because I was in Houston, and I had assets to stuff that I could help them with on their show, but that didn't happen. And God works in mysterious ways. Somehow, all money is not good money, and I'm really proud and happy that it didn't happen. I'm just going to put it to you like that. I'm going to end my show with that. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be coming back with more updates on other topics, not just Tim Norman and his evil ways. It will be on uplifted, positive subjects. And thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.